is a very good success story. Nay, a fantastic success story. It's titled Esports Legacy. In this session, I'm delighted to welcome our next speaker on stage, a silver medalist of Dream 3 Kingdom 2, Wai Lam Ip. So let's dive into our next session with a huge round of applause. How are you?
Very good. I'm so glad to be here. As a player, like Black said, we are probably not socially developed yet. It's a little bit nervous for me to in front of so many great people in esports industry. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. He's a bit nervous. Woo, woo, woo. I love that. I love it. Don't worry, most of us are all socially underdeveloped anyway. I think we can agree. So tell us a bit about your background. So you look incredibly young, and I'm curious as to what propelled you. I mean, when was your love of gaming born? So tell us a bit about you.
So I might look young, thank you for that, but I'm actually not that young. I just hit 27 this year, and
Young. Okay.
thank you. But I'm not particularly young in terms of player. And talking about the born of passion in esport as a player, I would start from probably 2014, 13, when I started playing League of Legends, and I actually started watching and playing League of Legends at the same time. At that time, there were no Chinese, Cantonese content about League of Legends, so I actually was forced to watch English stream. That's where I learned English, and starting from there, I watched some Pro League, and I watched the World Championship where TPA, which is the Taiwan team, won the World Championship, and then the next one is the Faker winning his first World Champion. I was there watching all that live when I was super young. That was actually super young, and starting from there, I started playing games seriously, not just casually gaming. Really thinking about how I can improve in game, how to analyze my own replay, and then improve my mistake, improve my thing so that I can make less mistake. Starting from there, I start to realize the difference between casually gaming and actually committing to the game in a competitive level. I wouldn't say at that time I was a professional level yet. I was playing solo queue, which is rank game in League of Legends. I play with random people, but I got really high rank, and I have reached a rank enough to meet a lot of professional player in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, in China. Playing those type of game is really high tension because all 10 people in the lobby is super good, and being in those type of game, the tension that I feel I really need to squeeze out everything in order to not lose, and those type of feeling really makes me feel oh, I'm actually not casually gaming with my friend now. I'm actually trying to competitively trying to win games in a really hard situation, and those type of feelings makes me fall in love with esport. Even though people would consider it as a pressure, but I would actually think that I'm actually playing a different game. But it sounds weird. I'm actually just playing League of Legends. But playing casually with my friends and competitively just like this is really different. It makes me feel like I'm playing two completely different game, and that makes me really have passion in trying a little bit more, and then joining a lot of local competition in Hong Kong. And luckily enough, I got a bunch of good teammates. I was able to win a bunch of local tournament in Hong Kong, and eventually my skill set in this type of mobile game, League of Legends, Dota, was being spotted, and I was able to join the Asia game as a representative in Hong Kong. And start playing Dream Free Kingdom, which is a other type of mobile game, pretty much like Dota 2, but in a Chinese culture fashion, and eventually, lucky enough again, I was able to win a silver medal, and all this experience feels unreal and like it's a once in a lifetime experience for me, and yes, like this basically my how all the passion started.
Well, thank you for that very long and detailed answer. And can I say, as an interviewee, this is the best kind of interviewee you want. I don't need to say anything. You're giving us all the information. But do your friends, I'm just curious, do your friends want to play with you now that you're a professional? Is that fun?
To be honest, like I am in a I'm in different mode when I play with like actual teammate and my friends. I will like casually.
Do you let them win sometimes? Oh, what a mistake.
Well,
Whoops.
as a competitor, I don't do that. I don't do that. But like I won't care too much about mistakes, and I won't focus too much on the gameplay. I will just focus more on having fun.
Yeah.
Having two different mode.
Yeah,
thing.
and that's kind of work and play, right? It's rest and then it's work, and that's a different way that you maintain your well-being, I would say, in
Yes.
balance within that career. It's very interesting. You're a silver medalist of Dream 3 Kingdom 2. Why specifically that game?
So this game is definitely not popular worldwide, and I heard that game because of Asian Game picked up this game as one of the category in esport, and Hong Kong like the Hong Kong Esports Association found me because I was so active in League of Legends local competition. I was having quite good results back in the days. And actually, after I graduated from my university, I finished my bachelor degree. I was actually finding a full-time job, like normal officer job, like dealing with paper things. And then after work, I would be playing games. So I'm actually becoming a casual player at that point. But luckily enough, Hong Kong Esports Association found me, and they were asking like if you would like to start to practice on this game and help us in the Asian Games. And I felt so lucky at that time, and so eventually I kind of gave up the job, and then I fully committed into the game. And yes, and then the end result is good, so I'm so happy with that.
And so that was that, I mean, your first step into the professional realm of esports?
So I wouldn't say I am like a professional player, even though like I have the result in Asian Games, because honestly, I'm probably going to find a job back into Hong Kong, and I would be like continue on my full-time job and then part-time gaming life, because personally my goal is it's to keep on participating in esport, but in a different fashion. So my bachelor degree was in psychology, and I would like to keep on studying on a social work type of thing, and I would like to be a social worker in order to help teenagers on these type of esport thing. That's my goal in the future right now, as for now. And for now, I would say professional gamer. I wouldn't consider myself as like especially there are so many great esport organization out here. I'm probably not exactly a professional gamer.
Well, listen, you're the one that's on the stage right now, so I think we all consider you to be a professional esports athlete. And in that sense, what does a day for you look like? So say you're going to a huge competition somewhere. Between your training and your rest time and your preparation, what does a full day for you look like?
So, especially for this Asian Games, because we are technically practicing a game that we didn't play a whole lot, and we actually started learning the game by not playing the game. We actually started watching other people play the game. We watch a lot of pro leagues in China, and then we found a lot of video and replays on professional games, and then we start studying the game, because the game is kind of new for us, and we don't really have a whole lot of time to like playing casually and learning slowly. We just can't do that. And then so I personally my teammate, we use our knowledge in League of Legends, which is also a type of mobile game. We believe that in this type of game we have a lot of similarities, and we can use a lot of core concept, core idea on how to play the game, how to win the game, onto other type of mobile game like Dream V Kingdom. So we make use of that, and then we watch video, and then we start playing after watching a whole bunch of video, and then learn the basic concept of how to win games professionally and how do good players manage to win games. So I would say the whole day, like one normal routine would for us would be like wake up at noon, wake up at afternoon, probably like 12 p.m. Pretty similar to most of the gamers. We sleep pretty late, and then we will start watching video as we are having lunch, and then we will start playing after that. And but most of the time, I would say in one day we are not. We don't spend most of the time playing, but mostly discussing and watching replays.
And so far at We Summit 23, we've heard a lot about well-being, mental health, and how we make sure that there is a balance. And so what do you do to maintain a good mindset, a good, strong self-care routine?
So to be honest, I'm quite lucky. I was able to achieve like an okay result by not giving up too many things. As I said, like I was able to complete my degree in Hong Kong, and I was able to find a job. I was able to like I have a lot of like real life friends that are completely irrelevant to the esports industry, and I would say like I'm lucky to have such an environment, and I was able to have all these normal life besides gaming. But I would say, in terms of competitive gaming, people who actually commit into like professional gaming, it is really hard because like the pressure is really high that I don't think most of the people like unless you really experience it, it's really hard to explain in words. And also like for example, T1 has imagine like I can't imagine how much pressure their player having. Like everyone expect them to be first. If they lost finals last year, unfortunately. But to me, like being able to in the final is already such a good result. But people expect more. So like being in the final is not even good enough for them. Like the fans will put a lot of pressure on you. So this type of pressure, I think, the best way to alleviate it is probably just hanging out with your friends, like escape from the game. Like that's what I think.
That's good advice. And if there was any even younger, aspirational pro gamers out there, or people who are wanting to get into the esports world, what would be your advice as someone who's been in it for over a decade? What's your kind of keystone advice that you would give to these young up and comers?
So that's a really good question because that is also a really brutal fact that if you want to enter the scene, you want to be a professional gamer, the first thing you need to do is you have to be good enough. And being good enough is not just through training because like you're not a professional gamer yet, you're just trying to be. There is no professional training provided by like proper organization. You need to just play, keep on playing, which a lot of cases make the frustration in today. We were talking about like addiction and passion. To me, at the same time, like if you want to be a professional gamer, you have to be addicted to certain games. Like if you're not, you're probably not going to be able to be good enough. For example, in my university time, yet I was able to finish my degree, but actually I spent a lot of time like practicing and in different tournaments in League of Legends. I practice a lot of League of Legends. I just play League of Legends throughout my life in university. So I definitely sacrificed something, social life or academic result. But I would say the first thing if you want to enter the scene, like even play on the tournament, like let's not talk about like being a professional player. to have a good result in a tournament is that you have to sacrifice something, and you need to also be good enough.
And a lot of esports athletes actually in that journey to become good enough and in that journey to reach the top was where, most gamers aspire to be. You can go to boot camp, right? Yes. So tell us about your first boot camp experience.
So there is not a whole lot of boot camp experience in my life. The most valuable one would definitely be the Asian Game boot camp that I have with China. So Dream Kingdom is a game where China is just the best at playing that game. So because of the language advantage, I guess, because we speak Chinese as well. And then I was able to be invited by Chinese team.
We'll take a short water break. So how are y'all? You all right? Doing well? Yeah. Let me take one as well. Let's go together.
Okay. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. We Summit 23.
So we was invited by China to have a boot camp with them because obviously they are the best. So the boot camp experience is super brutal. We are like getting up at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Oh my goodness.
That is not a normal life for us.
Yeah.
And then we would just go to the boot camp site in China, in Hangzhou, where all the Chinese esports team are training. Like their League of Legends team, their Street Fighter team, they all train there. And then we would just get into the room, there were all the PC set up, and then we would just get beaten by the Chinese team over and over again. And then we would have lunch, and then we would come back, get beaten once again until evening. Like we would just get smashed every single day. And then we would go back to the hotel, which is like a gaming hotel in China. We have PC inside the hotel room, like that's fantastic. And then we would just play like rank game. We would play S5, and we repeat this process over and over again for like 2 weeks. That is so brutal. Like that is probably like the darkest time in my gaming life. Like it's just, I wasn't able to win one single game in the Scream section in Spring Ball against Chinese team. They were just too good at it. Yes. Like
well,
even like, I said that was my best experience in boot camp, but yes, but I would say that that's the best because I actually improved a lot by that.
Yeah.
Like getting beat down is actually the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And I said that I would play with my teammate at night out in hotel. I would just play rank game with some like random people. And then every night after getting beaten up, we will improve something.
Yeah.
So that was brutal, but that was like really good experience, like to improve.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. But it obviously taught you a lot of resilience and, the ability and the skill, I would say, of losing is something that you have to be very, very good at if you want to be a competitive athlete. And I think this goes for whether it's esports or traditional sports, whether it's any other industry. You have to be good at failing forward. And so what was your biggest takeaway? What was the biggest learning moment for you going to that, the boot camp, getting beaten again and again, day after day? What did it teach you?
So what did it teach me? I think the biggest thing to take away is that not everyone can afford that. Like not everyone can accept that you're just not winning one single game the entire week. Like even though people expect professional gamer to be like resilient, you have to be tough. You have to deal with those pressure. But in real life, we're all human. Like those kind of failure is something that I don't think everyone can take it. Some of my teammates like actually had some hard time, emotional, during that time, and then because we were all losing, right? We can't just lose. We have to also pull out all the replays and then analyze what we did wrong, what they did good, and then we not only need to lose against them and over again, we also need to like criticize each other. Like, what did you do wrong? What did I do wrong? Like this type of, I would say, this type of discussion, it's something that I also think a professional gamer should have. They should have the ability to accept that they're not good enough, but at the same time they need to be good enough to be a professional gamer. Like it's kind of annoying to know that, but I would say that is one thing that I think a professional gamer must go through.
Yeah, the ability to accept that really harsh criticism and still remain hopeful and positive and motivated and determined to get better, despite hearing all that kind of horrible stuff, right? Well, speaking of teammates, and this is where we want to get into the gossip and the nitty-gritty. If you had to, we're going to have a bit of fun here, select your most valuable teammate and also the opposite, your most feared opponent, who would they be and why?
So I have to choose.
So you have to choose
Which one is my
publicly and tell everybody here who you want to be on your team, who's your kind of top pick for a teammate, and then who's your biggest fear as an opponent.
I can choose anyone that.
Anyone you want, anyone at all. Yeah.
Even the one that I don't know.
Even ones you don't know, anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, this is your time. This is
So-
your, you know.
I would like. I guess every single esport player would choose Faker as their teammate. Like, I don't even need to play with him. I can just stand behind him. Like giving him some water would be already good enough. Like, as long as he's willing to take a picture of me, like that's good enough. Like like okay, let's be real. Like, Faker is still the player that I want to pick out not because like he's so famous that I'm a big fan of him. It's because the fact that I think it's truly unbelievable for a player to be that high level for so long. I think there are a lot of players at certain year or a particular year that are good enough to compete with Faker. Like a lot of player in LPL, in LCK, I think right now Trophy is also really good. But what stands out for me is that Faker is already good 10 years ago. Like already this good 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago when I was a student, he was already winning worlds. Like, that is just crazy. And the fact that he transitioned himself, like I would say, like in my opinion, he transitioned himself from a solo carry player, like a one-man 1v9 player, to now really a team leader. As an outsider, that's what I consider. Like that's what I think. It's really hard for a player to do because, like we said, like players are usually we just play games, right? Like, it's really hard to make such a transition in terms of gaming style. I think standing beside him, like let's not talk about gaming skills, but I think I would learn a lot from him in real life, like as a person, how to like the growth of a person. Like that's what I think. And if I need to choose a most feared opponent, I would choose any player that are really young, like a year of like 18, 17, who is super talented in terms of mechanics. And because the games that I played in mobile games, like mechanics is so important. The little micro movement that you make is so important. And I've experienced myself when I was like that young. I know that I was mechanically better at that time. So that I would, like those type of players what I most fear of.
That's very interesting. So to all those up-and-comers, you're giving them good advice, but you're also kind of don't want them to succeed because they're your competitors in the future. Your passion for the game is very unique, I'm sure, and we've seen you have great success. How does it feel to represent your country on the world stage?
Like that is definitely a unique experience because like this is the first time a esport is considered as or being included in a worldwide international traditional sport event in Asian Games. I think it is so rare that I'm probably like the first group of people who are able to wear their representative jersey. Like the outfit that I've right here is a Hong Kong representative in Asian Games. It is usually what you see in Olympic Games, like people who are playing tennis, players who are playing, like they're running. They wear this type of outfit, and now I'm a esport player and I'm able to wear the same thing. And it also feels more real when I arrive Hangzhou in the athletics village where all the athletes is living together. So it's really interesting that because we are all esport player, we don't really work out, we don't really like live our life healthily. But all the other athletes that are coming with us, they are living with us, they are like swimming, they're like running, and then they're so huge that we feels like we are not belong to there. Like it is such a wonderful experience to be with those guys because now esports I think is more considered as a sport right now, and being able to represent my country, to represent Hong Kong is really important for me to I guess like widen my exposure. Like it's not a common experience, and I met Fikr there, so that is really great.
Best thing about it. So, what does the future hold? I'm going to open it up to questions in just a couple of moments, but what does the future hold for you? Because you said that you would like to, get a normal job, yes. And you mentioned that you were studying, you graduated in psychology. So, what's the next step?
So, because I study in psychology and I've been in the esports scene for so long, and in the future, of course, if I'm capable of, I will definitely try to continue participating in different esport events. And if the next Asian game I'm able to participate, I will definitely join that. But for now, besides gaming, actually gaming, be a player, I would like to consider use my experience and then use my knowledge to help the youngsters, because I think gaming and esport is really becoming an issue in young ages. And then I would love to use my knowledge to helping the society. And I would also love to be part of the growth of esport in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong in esport industry is definitely still growing, and it has a lot of room, and I would like to be part of that. And so that the first step now is probably trying to finish the master's degree. I'm currently working on is on social work, and then that is the first step of me like stepping into the future.
I love that. I love that you've got so many goals, so many aspirations, and with your track record and with your passion, it's very clear that you're going to succeed in whatever you want to do. And I have more questions, but I would like to first give our audience an opportunity to ask some questions if you would like to. We've got about 15 minutes left, so would anyone, you can have another water break if you would like. Yeah, you can open that up. Would anyone like to ask some questions? Come on. I love you. You're always asking the questions.
Take one for you, Boban. So, as a room full of people that could maybe make a difference for you on the federation side and esports organizations, what would you want to see in a federation or esports organization to better support a player like you, or for all the esports players in the world?
So I think I'm the luckier player that I have a certain skill set, and then other than gaming, I have some sort of knowledge outside of gaming. But I would really like to see many organizations start to care more about the esport player that have retired or failed to actually become a professional player, because I think those are the majority of the people that are trying to enter the industry. Because esport as an industry is still quite new. It's not a established long history industry. Most of the people here, most of the people I would say enter the industry because they become a professional player in their young ages, and by doing that, most of them gave up most of the academic result. They probably drop out from school, and then I would really like to see more organization try to help those people.
Thank you for your question and for your answer. Would anyone else like to ask a question?
Thank you for the wonderful and inspirational conversation. It's been really informative, I'm sure, for everybody here. I wanted to ask, when you came back from the Asian Games with the medal and everything, did something change with you? Did you feel like you're an Olympian like the other athletes do? Like, I don't know, the ones that run 100 meters. Is the government or your friends or your family treating you differently? Do you see the same level of respect that every other athlete that won a gold medal, I don't know, in running or in ping pong or in whatever sport? Is that same situation with esports once you got the medal?
Oh, thank you for the question. So first of all, I think in terms of actual support from the government, I think it's no difference that esport compared to traditional esport. For example, the master program that I am trying to finish are supported by the government because of the medal, and that goes same to the other traditional sport. But to be honest, around the social narrative on like esport being an actual sport, this topic is not that popular yet. Like people are still not really considering it yet, like the general public. I would say winning a gold medal or silver medal in ping pong is definitely more popular in Hong Kong than an esport like medal. I think it would take times, but as for now, I think it's a little bit different. It's just a little bit.
Thank you for your question and answer. Would anyone else like to ask a question? No? We're quiet, all quiet now. Dominic, would you like to ask anything? Something really difficult. No, I'm just kidding. Do you have a question or some words of support for a fellow athlete?
We spoke about it briefly at lunch. Like, do you think? So we spoke about support for players that basically have to quit school to pursue a career full time rather. You know, for example, how it works in the NBA, where you get scouted, and in the school you have to do really well, otherwise the coach won't let you play. Like, do you think something like that can happen in esports? And if yes, like, should it happen? Would it be very beneficial to players in such positions?
So I think that would definitely that is definitely one way to help. But I think in my experience, in the people that I know, if those people are really enthusiasts and want to be a professional player, they committed to it and they fail, usually they would like to also join in part of the esport industry. I think it would be really good for the esport industry to help those guys to develop actual skill that can actually join the esport industry, like actual practical skills. For example, helping to be the event producer, some kind of media stuff. I think those kind of skill set would be more useful than actually like learning in high school. I think the practical skill is more important.
Thank you.
Hello. So we're going to ask you. Oh, we're from T1, by the way. We're going to ask you, what do you think is unique about the Hong Kong esports market? Is there anything that's specific that is just about Hong Kong that you really appreciate?
I think there are some special thing, but I'm not sure whether I appreciate or not. So that the fact that Hong Kong esports industry is still growing, in other words, means that people do not really find a reliable way to join the esports industry in Hong Kong. So that most of the talent player, they either good enough to go to China to be one of their players, and then they just work there. And if people are not like that committed to this whole thing, they will probably just be like me and then just find a full-time job and then part-time gaming, and then to find opportunities whether they can join some tournament to just kind of find their livings by doing a normal job and at the same time enjoying what they like. I think that is the unique thing that I think in other country, in other places, maybe some really talented player, they would just commit to it, and still very few of them make professional, but like most of them will commit to it because like there are many chances.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hussein, you've got a question?
If you don't want to answer this question, I understand, but growing up and being who you are today, there are some challenges, especially from the parents' side. So how did that relation go? Were they supportive? Were they against? Usually parents, if they don't understand esports, they see gaming as a waste of time, and they always push their kids to focus on studies. So how was the relationship? And
So I'm lucky to have a really good parents, and usually I would say probably the stereotype would be like Asian parents are more harsh, like they would just beat you up if you keep playing games. That actually happened a little bit, just a tiny bit, not that much. They would just shout at you if you keep playing games. But I was able to manage to find a little bit of a balance between gaming and my academic result. I didn't completely give up. So my relationship with parents was definitely good. Just despite the fact that they would probably beat me up sometime. But overall, it's good. It's good relationship with parents.
so if I may add one more thing, if there was a message that you want to send out to the parents there, what would it be?
So I think in the past years, esport is not considered as an option for children to be to go as a professional, to be an actual job. Parents don't consider it as a option. They would probably expect you to be a doctor, to be like a lawyer, something like that. And I think nowadays, esport has been developed enough to be an option, and I hope that parents, I don't expect all the parents to like just support their children to go into esport, because I still think esport is a really harsh industry that you need to be talented in order to enter the industry as a player at least. And I would love to see parents starting to consider esport as an option and allow their children to explore whether they can try to develop on it, and not just banning it from the beginning. Like just let it be an option.
Thank you. Everyone's got questions now. Are you all right? Do you need more water? You're good. He's good. We're good.
Hi, Ben from Thailand, Esports Federation. Congratulations on the silver, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know you did face Thailand in one of those matches.
Yes.
So my question is, esports in the Asian Games, you had very tough competitors, especially China, and we faced them too. But you said you studied psychology. How did that play a part when you were on the stadium in Hangzhou, competing with all these teams, especially one of the toughest teams? Did that help you get through those matches, and how do you adapt when you were losing or when you were behind in the game?
So to be too technical, like I can't process my emotion in a too technical way. But overall, I would say that what psychology helped us in all these tournaments, in the high pressure situation that I have encountered, would be emotion will affect your performance. That's what I always bear in my mind, so that I will always try to calm myself, although not always successful. But that's the thing that I will always keep in mind, that I will let my teammate down if I can't control my emotion. That's the thing that I because I study psychology, that's the thing. Probably you don't need to study psychology to understand that, but that's the thing that I always put in my mind.
Thank you. Back to Dominic.
It's a short one, because don't want to keep you here too long. But so I'm no stranger, of course. My parents didn't like me to game as much either. So just as you, I got hit and whatnot. But as soon as I got really good at school, my parents had zero problem. You know, I didn't get hit anymore. They were fine with me playing until the night. And so I just wanted to ask a fellow pro gamer, like, how did school performance impact like the relationship with your parents when it comes to gaming?
So I think what parents cares is not actually your academic performance. They care about like wanting you to have a secure future. They want you to have a safer pathway to the future. Like, but academic result is the easiest way to see. They can see that like if you have good academic result, I guess like you can probably find a good job, because there are no other indicator for parents to consider when you are in school. So I would say having a good academic result is letting your parents feel more safe, but I think the relationship will get good by that. But I don't think that is the only way. I think you can also just let your parent know what you're doing and what you think about the future if you want to be an esports player. For example, you just mentioned in your session that you probably want to have a plan for your path to professional gamer. For example, like in 2 years, if I can become a pro, I would just keep on studying. I would just commit myself into studying. I think having those kind of communication, letting your parents know what's your plan, it's also a way to help the relationship between you and the parents.
Thank you so much. We're going to have to wrap it up. Thank you for all of your questions. And thank you so much for your insights and wisdom. And it's just pretty inspiring to hear your story. And we're excited to see where you go in the future. Big things.
Thank you.
Big things in your future. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Wai Lam Yip. Thank you so much. You can stay here for a second. Just relax. Just relax. We're gonna close this off. So we will be back with our final session of the day. It's a big one. You're going to be excited. 15 minutes later, we will have the ESI Hall of Fame Awards Ceremony 2023. So stick around, get your invisible champagne glasses ready for toasting, and we'll be back with you at 5:30. So stretch your legs, get a bathroom break, get some water, and we'll see you back here very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That was fantastic. Well done.